Yeah.
Speaking of in-ears, we talked about this. This would have been a couple months ago. You had a guy on talking about in-ears, and I had that question for you about, do your ears change? Because I've got a mold of for my ears. I've had it for 6-7 years, and I went to an audiologist.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm noticing like the fit's not right. And they said, oh yeah, over time your ear will slowly change shape. And most of the time getting bigger, like your ear will get bigger the older you get.
Oh.
And so I was noticing for the last year that there was a lot more bleed coming into my right crash cymbal. I'm like, why do I hear that so loud? And so I got a new mold made, and I sent it into 64 Audio, and they're going to rebuild my entire in-ears into a new mold and like clean everything up, and very affordable service to do. I changed my plates, my custom artwork and everything. So anybody out there that's had a mold of your ears on custom IEMs for more than 4, 5, 6 years, you might consider getting a new mold made.
So, I'm curious. This actually all makes sense to me. I believe you that your ears changed, and
we'll find out, right?
Yeah,
I may get the new ones back and be like, nah, never mind.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, right. But that makes sense, and it does make sense to update these things. I'm curious, and I realize cost is probably the biggest driver of this, but at the point where you're gonna like bother to get new molds made and do all that,
right? Why not
There's
get new
the
ears?
argument to be made, well, keep the old ones as a spare set and buy a new set of ears. It's been 6 years, et cetera, et cetera. Did you go through that thought process?
I did, yeah. And actually, I did it on my last pair. I have 2 very expensive pairs of in-ear monitors, and I'm thinking, well, I don't want a third one. I went through a period there where the band and my personal business, like real estate world, I sell real estate, was like, I was having the best year I was ever having, and the band was making more money than I ever thought was possible in a cover band. So I was like, give me the most expensive IEMs you have. And so, yeah, I have A18s. They're like $3,600, I think. From 64 Audio. So I love them. I love the way they sound. And also now I'm more responsible. I have a child, and I'm like, okay, you don't need 3 pairs of plus $2,000 in-ear monitors. So I really like these. I said, let's go this route. It was like $200 to have them rebuild the whole thing in a new mold. So I was like, let's go that route and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the A18s, folks, I'm looking here. These are 18 driver earphones, and you're right. They're like $3,000. So yeah. All right.
They're great. And they got that Apex, that artificial membrane in them where it keeps like listener fatigue down. Really? I just really like them. And I have, before that, I had a JH Audio 16s, JH16s before that, and I love those 2. Those are like my backup ones that I actually wore on New Year's Eve because my 64 Audios are in the mail. So yeah.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah. Okay. How do you like the JH16 V2s?
So I don't have the V2s.
You just have the regular 16.
I have this would have been like 8 years ago or something.
Yeah, okay.
When I bought that first round. So I'm assuming they probably made it. Do you know what they changed on that?
I don't. And I'm just curious because the only set of JH Audios that I have are the JH Audio Laylas, which are built to be a reference monitor.
Yep.
And I used them for podcasting for a really long time. I could never use them live. I tried using them live once, and it was just too much low end. Like they're not enough articulation, and it's a shame because I think they're $2,700 or something. And Jerry made them for me, and they're great for what they are, but they're not
for live.
Not for live. Yeah, exactly. So your 16s, I know they're built to be used live, and they're good. Okay,
a lot of low end too, like not that much, but if you're a bass player, drummer, and you really want to feel that's the big complaint a lot of people have on in-ears. If you're a bass player or drummer, like the universals with just the 3 drivers, that low end's just not. So yeah, if you step up to something like that, you'll get a lot better low end out of it.
It makes a difference to have something that is tuned for the low end.
Yep.
And that's what I was most impressed by with the dual driver all clears that I tried.
Isn't that nuts?
It's crazy at $399 for what they call their dual XBs, and they're, I think it's $399. Yeah. And they're specifically tuned. They're like, they have a normal dual driver and then they've got this dual XB, and I've used them for gigs, and it's like you get that low end. The word thump is the wrong word, but it's a roundness to the low end that makes a difference when you're a drummer or a bass player.
I actually sent, after that episode, a buddy of mine was looking to make his first investment in in-ears, and I sent him All Clear. I was like, dude, check these guys out. I want to know. I heard nothing but good things, and I think he's got them, so I got to check out and see what ended up happening on that.
I'm curious to hear. Yeah. People that I know that have, listeners and friends that have gotten All Clairs have been really, really happy about them. And I couldn't be. I'm so stoked that we finally found like a budget friendly IEM that's custom and they feel good and all of those things. Yeah, man. Yeah.